Alright, so in this video we are diving into how you can boost your internet speeds without paying extra for it by changing your DNS settings. So if you have heard about DNS but you are not sure how it works or which of them to use for faster internet browsing, then this video is for you. But first off, what is DNS? Well, in the world of networking, computers don't go by names like humans do. So they identify things by numbers because that is how computers and other similar devices talk and identify with each other over a network, which is by using numbers such as IP addresses. So humans, on the other hand, are accustomed to using names instead of numbers. Whether you are talking directly to another person or identifying a country, place or thing, humans identify with names instead of numbers. So the logic here is that our computers only understand numbers. That is the only language that they know. So in order to communicate with the computer, it means that we humans have to speak numbers. That is the only way computers can understand the message that we are trying to tell them. So humans, on the other hand, are good at names and poor at identifying by numbers. So for example, if we were to assign 123.4.455.2.3 to a person, a place or a thing, it means that each time we are going to call the person, let's say Peter, then we would start mentioning this long number to identify Peter, right? So literally every person or thing should be carrying numbers, which is difficult for us to remember, right? Yeah, so humans are not good at numbers. Even your phone, when you want to search for the contact of a person, you start by searching the name for the person and then the phone gives you the number. This shows that we are not good at memorizing numbers, okay? So do you see the huge language barrier between computers and humans? So this is the battle between, for example, Mr. A and Mr. B, who speak different languages. So Mr. A and Mr. B, they must need a translator or interpreter to be able to communicate with each other. So in order to close the communication gap between computers and humans and make the communication of a lot easier, then networking engineers develop DNS, and DNS stands for Domain Name System. So the DNS, let's take it for example, is the translator or interpreter between Mr. A and Mr. B, who hardly can understand each other, okay? DNS is the key factor for how the internet works. So its primary job is to take the name of the website, let's say PauTECom.com, and translate it into an IP address, basically telling your computer which server to connect to in order to load the web page for you. So let's break this into details. So if you wanted to browse the internet, you will first open your browser, then you must enter the IP address of the website that you want to open, and then your computer or device is going to load the website for you. For example, I may remember the IP address of the PauTECom website, so I will type it in my browser here, hit enter, and my computer is going to open the website for me. Now, since humans are not accustomed to numbers and it is difficult for us to remember, especially when there are billions of websites on the internet, this is where a DNS server comes in to help. So a DNS server allows us to just type the domain name of the website or just click a link, and then it will convert the domain name into a numerical value that the computer can understand. So this number is called the IP address. So every website or smart devices are assigned IP addresses so that they can identify with each other and then communicate among themselves. So as humans, we can't remember all the IP addresses, but we can do better by names. Alright, so now that you understand what DNS is, let me show you how it can slow or increase your browsing speed and what you can do to experience faster internet speeds, okay? Now, when you want to visit a website, we just have to type the domain name or click a link. Technically, this is what will happen at the background when you start the command. So your system is going to send a DNS query to figure out which IP address corresponds to the site that you are trying to visit. So the DNS server converts the domain name into an IP address that is associated with the website, then sends the IP address back to your computer. It is only at this time that your computer understands that you wanted to open a web page that goes by that IP address, and then it's going to retrieve the information of the website and then it's going to load it on your web browser for you to see. However, this conversion process can sometimes cause delays or latency, especially if your DNS server is very slow. So you can see very clearly at this point that your browsing speed is dependent on how fast the DNS server converts the domain name to an IP address and how fast it sends it back to your computer to identify and load the web page for you. So a slower DNS will give you slow internet, and a faster one mean faster internet, okay? Right, so I don't want to keep this video more than 5 minutes. So what watch out for the next video. So in that video, I'm going to take you through what DNS to choose and what settings to do to have faster internet browsing. Now this channel is going to narrow down to network troubleshooting, internet connectivity, cheap or free mobile data tips and hacks, and online privacy and security. So if you love this new development, then be sure to check back always for new videos. Alright, so I will see you in the next video, and goodbye.